Hey, let's talk about policy loans and how interest is viewed in the eyes of the insurance company on policy loans we take out against our insurance product. So, first off, let's jump on the whiteboard, go through a couple of things to pay attention to, and then we'll go through a real life example. So, first off, when we talk about when the interest actually starts on a loan that we take out, it starts the day the loan is taken out. All right, but the billing, in other words, when we actually receive the statement of when we get billed on that interest, is not until the anniversary date. The anniversary date is simply the day you took out the policy, right? So if I would have taken a policy out, say January 1st, but I took a loan out on, today in April 15th, then my loan date would be April 15th, the date that the interest actually starts. But the date of when it actually gets billed is going to be in a cycle that goes off of the anniversary date, or January 1st, when I set up the policy. That's important because you have to understand how the interest is calculated from the insurance company's perspective. And when you get a bill with your statement, you'll understand why that number might be a little different than you thought it was. So let's look at this. So first off, let's understand how the interest is calculated. So loan interest on a insurance policy, the cash value policy, is what's called daily accrued interest. Simple annual interest, but it accrues at a daily rate. So what that means is our insurance companies typically charge a rate of 5%. And that means it's simple interest. So if I were to take a loan out for, let's just say $20,000, then my total interest for that year would be $1,000, right? 5% of $20,000. But it actually accrues on a daily basis. So what we would want to do then to calculate that is we want to divide this by 365 days in a year because it accrues at a daily rate. So that's going to be about $2.74 per day is what the interest rate is going to be if we were to not make any payments against going back at that loan. So if we made zero payments all year, we took a $20,000 loan on our an entire year passed, right? And let's just say that we started our policy on January 1st and we took our loan out on January 1st. Then I would get a bill, 365 days have passed, for what? On January 1st, I would get a bill for $1,000, or the total interest for 365 days. But what happens often is we don't always take a loan out on our exact anniversary date, right? That's why they accrue it daily, to make it a little bit simpler to follow. So let's say that we waited 6 months into a year and then we took a loan out. It doesn't have to be the same year we start a policy, anytime in the future. So what's going to happen is, what if we took it out in July? We take the same $20,000 loan out, same 5%, but now when we get our bill, remember the bill happens on our anniversary date, which was January 1st, we're only going to have 6 months of accrual. So instead of the $1,000 that we would have here, we're going to have what? Half of that. So $500 is actually going to be the interest that would have actually taken place and accrued over that 6-month period. So when we get our bill, you'll notice that it's going to be on the day in which you actually took the loan, but the bill, when you receive it, or the period in which it's going to end, is on the anniversary date. So it's important to recognize that so that you don't get confused as to why you see those certain things. All this is assuming that you didn't make any other payments against this $20,000. So obviously, if you did make other payments throughout the year against that $20,000, it's going to lessen what this total amount's going to be. So if you would have made a $5,000 payment randomly on your own terms, that's the beauty of having this policy. You can call your shots on when you want to make payments. If you paid $5,000 against that principal, that brought it down to $15,000. Well, now the daily simple interest is going to be on the $15,000 and not the $20,000, right? So that's how interest is calculated on here. It's much more advantageous for you, the borrower, and you can see that it's very advantageous to pay down the interest on here so that we're not letting it compound over the long term, right? So if you pay your simple interest off, it's a much better way to borrow money, and it's simple for us to calculate. And that's how you're going to be able to kind of dissect how and what bill you're getting from the insurance company.